Opening statement. All right, I'll be fast. It was good to get off and get started. A lot of energy, a lot of juice on the first day, which is typical. You know, I've been doing this a long time. I guess I've been going to the field house every day since I was 5 years old. Day one's always a lot of juice and a lot of energy. Saw some good, saw some bad. You can kind of convince yourself of anything when you've got no pads on. So we'll keep rocking and rolling. We got day 2 tomorrow, and then we'll put the pads on Thursday and start really figuring out who can play football and who can't. So with that, we'll open it up.
Coach, of course, a couple guys there in the quarterback room. You got some returners, but obviously you have the addition of Zion Chris. Just your overall thoughts of him and Kane Samosa.
Yeah, thought they did some good things, thought they did some bad. They're both really experienced. It's a blessing for us to be able to have two guys that have started as many games as they have and played as well as they have in their past. They both are high-character young men. They impact everybody around them in a positive way. They're not finished products yet, but we can work with their skill set and what they got to do. Was really pleased with the young guys today, too. Thought they did some good things. We had some under-center snaps that we didn't handle, which is embarrassing. You can't do that in football. Like, you got to be able to get the snaps, most important part of the play. But we'll watch the tape, and we'll get better moving forward. But glad that Zion's here. Obviously, with him and Caden being old guys that have played a lot, we really like what they've done in their past and like what they can be if they continue to improve. And then those young guys are really talented. So.
And really sticking with Zion, just his experience where he's been and just what does he bring to the table?
Yeah, well, with him and Caden both, you've seen them play. So they're known entities, And so Zion, because that's who you ask about. Like when he was at Louisiana several years ago, I was in that conference, and he was just dynamic. Just dominated that league with his legs, was probably the scariest player in that league. Then he goes to Houston with Coach Fritz in year 1 and helps them get that program off the ground and running, won 2 big games for them. And so he's played a lot. He's got a lot of starts under his belt. He's experienced. He's a fifth-year senior. He's older. He's been through the fire. And then Caden, same thing. 2 years ago at Ball State, under Mike New, played a ton of football. The year before that, he started 3 games as well. So he's played a ton of football. He's really accurate. Older, redshirt junior. So 2 guys that have been around the ringer in college football. Have seen a lot of things. They're both really hungry to show everybody what they can do.
And then lastly for me, Coach, you just got some big-time returners coming back as well. Just your overall thoughts on what they bring back to the program.
Yeah, excited about that. We feel like we are a really experienced program from the standpoint of we have a ton of second, third, and fourth-year guys in our program, especially compared to most everybody else in college football. And we certainly feel like that's an advantage from a standpoint of culture and also schemes and just the way that we do things here. Tulane has a way and a standard of doing things. And we have so many people returning within that culture that understand what that standard is. And obviously, we want to play to that strength.
Zion didn't take many reps today. Is he limited for the beginning of spring?
Yeah, I got a little bit of a hamstring right now, Gary, just being honest with you. So we'll do mostly passing, keep him stationary just to protect him. Obviously, everybody knows he can run. I mean, he's been clocked at 22 miles an hour in game. So it's not the worst thing in the world for him to have to be stationary and use his eyes and not be able to escape with his feet. But that's all that was, just a little bit of hamstring in their off-season conditioning and those things.
And Jamari McClure, what's his status right
now?
Yeah,
he's coming off that shoulder surgery at the end of the year last year. He's doing really well. He's doing good in school as well, too. Really proud of him and his growth. Another guy that will be in his 3rd year. He's really growing and maturing as a young man. Like, it's been really fun to see. And but he'll be fully healthy. He'll be cleared this summer. He won't go any in spring ball, but that running back room's dynamic. A lot of good competition.
Yeah, what was your impression of those guys today? They made some. They look good. I know it's no pads, but they look good.
Yeah, we think that's a room that we've really upgraded from the overall depth and speed standpoint. To get Mo Turner back, who you saw, Gary, was probably the most dynamic offensive player we had in fall camp last year, and we lost him in game 1. Then you bring in Jalen Lucas. You bring in DJ Dugar. You got Jamari back. You bring in Johnny Daniels. And so just a lot of experience, a lot of speed in that room. And it's going to be fun to watch them compete all spring long into the summer and into fall camp. You'll see 2 of them on the field a lot like you saw today.
Over here, how big was it for you to bring in Jalen Lucas this offseason, and what are you expecting to see out of him?
Huge. Known Jalen for a long time. Brock Hayes did a phenomenal job recruiting him. That In the Car program's a great program. Coach Bryce, man, those kids are disciplined. They're leaders. And Jalen coming back home, to get him back home, we talked about finishing well. You know, his college career hasn't really gone the way he would like for it to go, but he's got a chance to come back home and finish well. He left here a high school legend. He can come back home and finish his career a college legend, and that's something we kind of sell to all these young men when they leave. Man, is come back home, finish well in your city, and be a legend.
I remember you talked with us about using him kind of like a Reggie Bush type, you know, in the pass game, the run game. I mean, explosive in a lot of different ways. How excited are you to use him in that capacity, and do you expect him to be a big part of what y'all do?
Oh, yeah, for sure. You know, that position, we call it the super back. They line up in the slot. You saw him today. He was lined up at receiver. He was lined up at running back, him and Maurice Turner both. And we want to use all the skills that they have. And we want a system that's built to be able to use all the skills that they have. So you'll see him everywhere. Screens, passing game. He caught a hitch today. He was downfield on some corner routes. He also motioned in the backfield, ran the ball. So, you know, we'll load them up from a mental standpoint. And Brock Hayes doing a great job with them, and fun to coach them.
Over here, Coach.
Yes, sir.
You were heavily involved during practice today. Is that something we can expect to see you do all the time, or is that something you're going to sort of relax on as
No, I'm not a relaxed guy. No, I'm going to coach all day long, man. You know, that's what I do. You know, I'm involved in tackle circuit. I coach a position group on every special teams. Obviously, you know, I'm heavily involved with the quarterbacks and the offense. And, you know, Coach Polk lets me get in there on tackle circuit, takeaway circuit, and big on owning your leverage and how we teach tackling and how we do things as a program in totality. So, no, I love to coach. I do. I love it. Like, it's my favorite thing to do in the whole world. It's what God put me here to do. So those 2 hours and 2.5 hours we're on the field, I'm going to coach.
Hey, Coach, back here. Ty Thompson almost kind of forgotten last year. He looked really strong in spring last year and dealing with multiple injuries. How frustrating was that for him last season, and how fired up for you to see him out there? You look really good today.
No doubt. Young man is really talented. He's been through a lot. And, you know, me and him talk all the time about, you know, God's got a plan, and it's bigger than our plan. And you have to endure things sometimes. And sometimes it's hard to go through them. And he's had a tough road in his college career, but he's got a chance to end well and finish well. And Lord willing, he stays healthy. I really think he's got a chance to have a big year. You saw him today. He's got a dynamic skill set. And we got to get the pads on and let him show what he can do blocking, because it's still something he hasn't had the opportunity to show, but I think he will. He's been dynamic in the weight room, great leader, and excited about what he can be.
Hey, Coach, right here. How do you balance just the bringing your own style here and continuing what Tulane's legacy has been, you know, over the recent success at the same time?
Yeah, well, I've done this before. You know, I took over at West Alabama. I was an assistant there, and I took over for Bobby Wallace, who's a living legend, 3 national titles. And so I've done this before. I've got experience doing that, and we went on a great run after that. And so now I'm following Willie Fritz and John Sumrall. So like I said earlier, we've got a standard here in a way of doing things that works. Now, I've got to be me, but, you know, part of being me is not being stupid. You know, so the things that work here, particular to Tulane, we've got to keep those things going within, you know, who I've got to be within myself. So that's what we'll do. We'll continue to play extremely hard. We'll continue to fly to the ball on defense. Offensively, you know, we want to be dynamic in multiple personnel groupings, and our best players will play in the kicking game, and we'll be a player-led program. You know, we have a lot of guys coming back that understand how to lead, guys like Jack Chinchu and Makai Williams, Reese Baker, and so on and so forth. So the things that work here we're going to keep doing, and the things that I feel like that I can tweak relative to who I have to be and my skill set that I bring, we'll do as well.
And just one more along the lines of Jalen Lucas. You got Destin Hill here, another car guy. What do you see from him? He's a physical presence out there who can make a name for himself back at his hometown, right?
Yeah, and Ollie Mitchell as well. So we got 3 of those guys. Destin, you know, he goes by Fat. Another guy, you know, his college career hasn't gone exactly how he wanted it to go. We're bringing him back home, hoping to finish well. He's worked extremely hard in the weight room. He's a really driven kid, has great leadership ability. He wore the number 2 at Carr, and they don't give that to just anybody. So a guy that has great leadership ability, and we've got high hopes for him. If he can stay healthy and keeps working and doing what Coach Sheridan says, we think he can have a big year for us too. It's good. Appreciate it, guys. Thank y'all.